What's up, everybody? Thank you for checking me out. I do appreciate it. I'm Old Head Saint. I'm creating this channel for you guys to come in here and just kind of, if you're the casual, everyday, every other day type player for like an hour, check out some of the things that's going on. I thought it'd be a cool thing to kind of walk people through if you're literally just starting out. You can see on the screen I'm at level 1, haven't done anything yet, so I'm going to progress through my journey and show you guys some of the things that I do. All this is designed just to have a good time and enjoy Warzone, Call of Duty. It can get somewhat intense at times, so this is just to kind of keep everyone level. I'm just looking for people on here that just want to be positive and enjoy the game. I'm not a professional. I don't have aimbot. I don't have any of those other toys and gadgets that pros use to kind of make their aiming stick or seeing through walls or anything like that. I'm just here to kind of give my personal opinion and hopefully people enjoy the game and listen in. If you want to follow me on TikTok or YouTube, it's at oldhead_saint. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, it's just 3 words, Old Head Saint. I'd appreciate a follow or subscribe if you guys would like it. So today, what we're going to do is we're just going to walk through some of the basics. I'm going to show you the settings that I set my game at. Now, I do play on a PC. I do have a Scuff Valor wireless remote, so that's what it's going to be set to. So even though I play on a PC, I do use a remote. So we're going to start off if we go over here, and we're going to look at the controller setup. So as I said, controller, tactical, default, and then for my horizontal stick and vertical stick, I use 1.2. Again, these are personal preferences, so you guys might want to adjust a little bit. I really wouldn't go much higher than a 0.3, and I wouldn't go much lower than like a 0.9. So if you do 1.3 to 0.9, I think that's a good range for most people. But again, those are just personal preferences. I don't like the vibration part of it, so I usually keep that off. Dead zone. This is something that you're just going to have to play around with and see what finds for you, what works best. For me, these are the settings that I have. These are what I use. These are what works pretty well for me. Trigger for most people, left and right trigger, if you keep it at 0, that means you don't have to touch your trigger that much for things to happen. So your left trigger traditionally is aiming, your right trigger is traditional shooting. So if you have it at 0, it means it's pretty sensitive to what you touch it at. So I usually keep mine at 0, and then everything else you kind of just got to walk through and try with the targeting range and stuff like that to see what's going on. So for aiming, the only thing I really change is my sensitivity multiplier. I just put it at 0.85. It just helps a little bit more. You'll see a lot of people say this. You can keep it at 1, 0.9 would be fine, 0.8 would be fine. But find out what works best for you. That's what works best for me. So for advanced aiming situations, I have instant, I do assist, and dynamic. Some people use linear. It's really just a personal preference. Again, you got to kind of play it a little bit. Precision's not that bad. I just like assist. It kind of just snaps on the player a little bit towards that end, so it'll help you with that last little minute adjustment to your aiming assist. So I do keep aiming assist on. Aiming down sight, aim assist I keep on as well. It doesn't do a lot, but it'll help you out a little bit. And then any kind of motion blur things I turn off. I don't like to see the blur. It kind of makes me feel a little nauseous if we're being honest with one another. So I kind of keep it as you see here. And we'll talk about motion blur a little bit as we move through this. Movement, I have sprint assist on, and then I just have these settings here. So it just kind of helps you with your movement a little bit, move a little bit quicker. I have manual assist off. If you're looking through a window and you have manual assist on, it'll automatically kind of manual you, which means kind of drop down and use it as like a steady guide. I don't like that because sometimes that's not what I'm trying to do. Same thing with crouch assist. Wall jump assist, so if you double jump on a wall that's at like a normal height, you can kind of jump and hop yourself up over it. If you do an assist aspect for that, it's going to automatically do it for you. So I just kind of leave that off and leave it to myself. Slide dive behavior, I do tap to slide only. Dive, you can see that I can hold the dive, but I usually slide more than I dive, so I'm not really worried about that too much. And then these are all just personal preferences, to be honest with you. The one that I would recommend here, this parachute automatic behavior, I do off. If you keep it as always, you'll free fall, and then when you hit a certain level, it'll automatically deploy your parachute. If you do free fall, if you jump off like a building, it'll automatically deploy your parachute depending on the height of that building. So off leaves it completely up to you, the controller, of when you open your parachute, if you open your parachute, and how fast you can go down. So I leave it off. You will mess up every now and then and splat on the ground, but that kind of part of the fun of it, I guess. This is wall jump activation, like we talked about. If you double press A, that kind of gives you your wall jump. So that's something that's a little bit newer to the Call of Duty over the past probably season or so. So that's there, and then the battle roll or combat roll assist. This is if you, depending on what perk you have, if you fall from a higher, if you have a Mountaineer and you fall, it'll put you into a roll. It's kind of a cool thing to have. Not everyone uses it. For combat, I have hold for aim down sight behavior. If you do toggle, that means whatever you're using for your aim down sight, you hit it once, it'll aim down sight. You can take your finger off and it'll stay that way, and then you have to hit it again to take it back off. If you hold it, you can hold it, and then when you let go, it goes back to your normal walking behavior. So I have it on hold. Tactical stance behavior, I have on toggle. These are your aim down assist type stuff. With melee weapons, I have a hold down for melee. Prioritizing finishing moves. So if you look at these, you have your different options here. If I ever kind of grab someone that's down, I'll use them as a shield sometimes, but usually I'm just trying to do my finishing move to do like a challenge or something like that. Armor plate behavior, apply all is the best one. So if you have 3 plates and you're down to like a plate and a half and you hit this, it'll reload an entire plate and a half for you. So you end up using 2 plates total, but otherwise if you have apply 1, you have to hit it every time. So if you're down to 1 plate, you have to hit it twice to apply 2 plates. So apply all just makes it super easy. Equipment behavior, again, I have hold. Manual fire behavior I have hold. So some of the guns that are like semi-automatic and stuff like that, if you hold it down, it'll go through its rotation, like one shot pause. Otherwise you have to keep pressing it. Some people like the pressing because they think they can go a little bit faster. I just use the hold down. It's just something that I use. Focus behavior, I have auto. Weapon mount, exit, I have instant, so the second I get out of it, I can move out of it. If you have short delay, you kind of stay in that assist. If you have off, it's not going to do it at all. Prioritize reload or prioritize interaction. I do prioritize reload, so for me, if I'm sitting next to a door and I have to reload my gun, if I hit X, the door won't open first, it'll reload my gun first, and then I can hit it again for the door to open. Some people don't like that. Some do tap to reload, tap to interact, and then hold for reload or hold to interact. I just prioritize first because you can always run through a door, so it's not really a big deal. Manual cancels, reload, sprint cancels, I have off, independent for these, and these for the most part I don't really use that much. Okay, so that's the controller. If we go down to graphics, I am on a PC, as I said, so my graphics setup is going to be a little bit different. A lot of this stuff is all the PC-based stuff. You will just have whatever your TV is if you're using like a PlayStation or an Xbox. Quality might be a little bit different as well. Because I'm on a PC, you can see that VRAM usage at the bottom. That's how much I can use before my game starts to like lag and things like that. So I'm a little bit below the targeted rate, but I like to see things in high definition. I like to see them in the best, like, realistic kind of look. So I keep all these things on or high or very high or ultra. So that's just my personal opinion. Some people don't care about all the effects and they just want the cleanest moving game. So in that case, you put these on like medium or low or possibly even off. This is one I highly recommend if you do it at 120. So this is what you see while you're playing in this first-person shooter mode. So if you're at 60, you're going to see everything very up close in what you're looking at. But if you do 120, you see the room as a whole. So you can kind of see the picture here. So if you're at 60, if you're in the same spot, it's going to zoom up on the statue in the front. If you're at 80, it'll zoom back a little bit. And then if you're at 120, you're kind of seeing the entire room. So I highly recommend that you do field of view at 120. I think it just makes the game a little bit nicer and you can see things a little bit better. Sometimes it helps you win some battles or some gunfights too. ADS field of view. You can kind of see like how it views in and out. I like the effect. So when I hit to aim down sight, it actually like magnifies in a little bit up to 4x. If you do the independent, it kind of just stays how you would normally see the gun. It doesn't like kind of zoom you in. So I like effect. So I like that zoomed in feel. Um, and then I have a wide view for the weapon. Narrow means that the gun's closer to you. A wider view means it looks like it's further away. So I like the wider view, personally. The other things I definitely recommend for camera, motion blur and weapon blur, I have off. So if you see up there, if you have world motion blur on, as you turn left to right or up and down, you get the blur effect. And then if you have weapon blur, it's the same thing where if you move your gun, the weapon's kind of blurry. This can make some people nauseous depending on how you're playing and what you're playing on and all that kind of fun stuff. I just turn both of them off. I think it makes the game a little bit cleaner. And then for the first person camera movement and third person camera movement, less than 50% makes the game a lot quicker. Most people have that set to that. Again, it's a personal preference. I'm not telling you that's what you need to do, but I will say that most people do set that to that.